a dietitian, you might be surprised to hear that weight loss is not the first topic that I like to focus on with my clients. And there's a whole bunch of reasons as to why. Weight loss is certainly motivating, but there is some periods of time where you might be hitting a plateau, you might gain some weight, there might be holiday events, and that could actually build a ton of anxiety and pressure to stay on track. And sometimes that pressure can throw us back into our old habits or just make us say, screw it, I can't keep doing this. While it's perfectly fine to have weight loss as one of your motivating factors, I would certainly at least add an additional layer in there. Some other outcomes that you can focus on could be your blood work has improved. Let's say your lipid profile improved, your blood sugar has improved. Maybe your sleep is better. Maybe you have more energy during the day. And yes, maybe your jeans aren't fitting as tight as they used to and it's just a bit more comfortable. These can be just additional factors that you can focus on to keep you motivated and going forward with your nutrition changes outside of that number that's on the scale. That being said, weight loss is probably the number one thing most clients want to know about. So here's just a few questions to ask yourself before going into your weight loss journey. Don't forget to stay around towards the end though, because I have a few pro tips that you might find helpful in your weight loss journey. First question, what is your goal weight and have you ever weighed this in your adult life? This question is important because sometimes we set unrealistic weight goals for ourselves, but one weight for one person might look very different than that one weight on you. It's important to get an idea of kind of where your baseline is, and then from there you can kind of move back and forth within that. If you get to that goal weight and further feel you want to lose more, you can always reassess at that point. Setting realistic weight loss goals is probably the number one thing you can do starting out. So what is considered realistic? The first place I typically start is getting your current body weight and finding what 10% of that current body weight is. That would be your goal weight within 6 months to 1 year, depending on how much weight that you want to lose. Here's the secret, slow and steady wins the race. Typically a weight loss between a half a pound to 1 pound a week is considered safe and consistent weight loss. Realistically, you may not even lose that much weight in a week, and that is perfectly fine. Typically what we're looking for is a trend going down over time. Looking at the month total versus the weekly total might be more motivating for you. Some people actually find it super motivating to weigh daily, and that is perfectly fine. There is some research out there showing weighing daily can actually increase your chances of reaching your weight goals. That being said, it is not recommended for everyone. If you have high anxiety with weighing, that's probably not the best place to start. Weekly weights are just as helpful. So once you got your goal weight set in mind, then you got to create that plan. Question number 2, have you ever successfully lost weight before and what made you stop? So someone who has lost weight before and then gained it back, we've got to look back and see what didn't go right. We can help address those obstacles. Usually what I see there is this really restrictive diet. We lost weight super quick, it was super motivating, and then we went back to our old lifestyle, and then the weight comes back on really quick. So that is why fad diets, yes, they can work, but they're not recommended in the long run because they're typically not sustainable. Focusing on more of a sustainable way of eating is going to be so much better for your weight loss, for your maintenance, and for your body over the long run. Typically what that could look like is focusing on 1 or maybe 2 things you can change and master those 2 things before you move on to the next. Also keep in mind, no one's perfect. There's gonna be holidays, there's gonna be birthday parties. That's all part of your lifestyle. It's so figuring out ways you can navigate those events without feeling like you have to binge. So that brings me to question number 3. What is your biggest obstacle to weight loss? This might be a tough one. More often than not, you can identify at least one of the big obstacles. One of the big obstacles that I hear often is eating healthy is boring, or I've missed my old way of eating because it had more flavor. If that is you, that is okay to feel that way. All this means is you got stuck into one way of eating, and yes, it gave you success, but it's trying to find ways to go around and add more flavor and different variety into your food without going to your old way of eating. And that kind of brings us back to setting those realistic weight loss goals. Yes, if you cut all your carbs out, if you cut this food group out or that, you'll see success. But is it sustainable? Likely not. So for me, I promote more of that Mediterranean style of eating where all food groups are allowed. Choosing more of the whole foods, plant-based versions. Yes, you can have some meat and low-fat dairy products, healthy fats, This diet actually brings in a ton of flavor and spices and seasonings and so many different types of dishes. And so kind of going through different Mediterranean recipes might inspire you there with some variety. Another pro tip with getting some variety is if you feel stuck and you just simply don't want to think about it, there is meal delivery services that you can do for a week, 2 weeks, whatever you need to kind of get you through that unmotivated hump and kind of take that mental load off your plate. Nutrition and diet can both be flavorful and healthy at the same time. Question 4, what is one non-negotiable that you won't give up during your health journey? You guys, it's okay to have a non-negotiable. It could be chocolate, it could be a glass of wine, whatever it is, you can work that into your plan. But the problem is, one is different than 10 non-negotiables. And what this does is it helps us identify what is considered a priority. Is there a number one, maybe 1 or 2 priorities? It helps you visualize yourself as this new person. If you found this information helpful so far, don't forget to hit subscribe so that you can be notified the next time I upload my next video. Question number 5 is my favorite. What else might change as you lose weight? With any weight loss journey, things are going to change. Whether it's not going to that steakhouse on Friday nights with your friends and ordering everything on the menu, it's waking up early on the weekends to go take a walk and go to the farmer's market, or now it's time that you can get up and play with your kids and you're more present and you're having more fun. The number one thing we can do on our weight loss journey is visualize yourself as your new person. That's what really will keep you going because that's your new identity. Hopefully that was a motivating question because I know it could also be a challenging one too. Okay, probably the moment some of you guys have been waiting for. What are some tips that may help you towards your weight loss journey? First one, and I really do mean this when I say reassess what you're drinking. Let's be honest, all we really need to be drinking for our health is water. Anything outside of that is considered a pleasure. But of course, there is some health benefits with drinks like unsweetened coffee and teas, but moderation really is still part of this plan. Typically, it's about that 2 to 3 cups per day or less. And if you can, keep that more into the morning so it's not affecting your afternoon and your sleep schedule. You might be surprised that around 15% of the calories in our diet come from sweetened drinks. That could make a huge impact on your weight loss journey. Okay, the other tip that I have is how fast it takes you to eat a meal. You may have heard this before, slow down, you're eating too quickly. It takes our body about 20 up to 30 minutes to register that we're even eating and that we've got food in our stomach. Once that food starts to enter your small bowel, that's when those hormones start signaling that, okay, we're starting to get full. So some tips could be, instead of having like a smoothie at breakfast, eat the whole fruit itself so you're having to chew and break it down. It could also be putting your fork down in between bites. It could also be just making sure we're having conversation with those that are at the table with us. But either way, it's super helpful for us to slow down when we're eating. That helps us trigger and let us know that we're starting to get full. Okay, so tip number 3 is limit your screen time. And it's probably not exactly what you're thinking. Yes, screen time can help you mindlessly eat. We certainly want to avoid that. Long periods of screen time can really zap our motivation. It can make you more tired. Limiting screen time actually may also give you more time during the day to focus on something like meal prep or getting outside and going for a walk. If screen time is less important to you, that could be something you can at least reduce. Okay, the 4th tip, stop eating by 9 p.m. There is more and more research coming out. One specifically I heard about with Dr. Sarah Berry saying that eating after 9 p.m., no matter what it was, negatively impacted our weight. And on that note, if you have the ability to go to sleep instead, then you're going to be getting in more hours of sleep, which will positively impact your weight. I know this was a lot of information and I hope it was helpful. So let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or if you felt this was helpful and what other videos you might want me to see. And also don't forget to subscribe. I'm new to this YouTube, so anytime I get a subscriber, it actually helps motivate me to keep going and providing this information based on my 10 years experience as a dietitian. And as always, I wish you guys so much luck in your weight loss journeys. And I know it can be super personal and challenging, but you can do it and you'll be super proud of yourself once you get there.